It's an Asian crypto market as mentioned. A peak trade tournament experience only on Alpha Arena. Hands-on crash courses and masterclass sessions to level up your ability. Deep dive on stablecoins and tokenization at Institutional Summit powered by ICE experts on day 2. And there are many more insightful sessions touching
another country just to came to Bali just for a Coinfest. I'm not talking so much today. It's sleep. Bitcoin doesn't care. I traded all night. It will still be trading when we go home. Market is used to open and close. That is ending. And it is not only crypto anymore. There is stocks, gold, treasuries, they're moving onto the same rails. The line between a crypto exchange and a stock market exchange is disappearing. And that's the word Plubit is building for. What follows is one question. What should an exchange be when everything came into it? And where's our skill?
Welcome everyone. We start with a very simple question. What's an exploiting exchange? 5 years ago, the answer was easy. Crypto exchange is a place where you bought your different assets, where you were able to sell your different assets. Bitcoin, Ethereum, any other altcoins. That was a breeze. But then in 2006, I believe that definition does not work anymore. Finance is becoming crypto. And crypto is becoming finance. And more importantly, finance is beginning to look a lot like crypto. It's been a decade since we spent trying to become finance. For years, the crypto industry tried to enter traditional finance. We built stablecoins. We built institutional custody. We built ETFs. We built payment infrastructure, even lending markets. In other words, crypto spent a decade trying to become finance. But now, we see it's running the other way. We see a movement going in the opposite direction. Traditional finance and their assets are moving into crypto rails. We talk about stocks, treasuries, even gold. Commodities also inside the fold, and of course, real world assets. We actually see the two worlds converging. I believe this is a convergence that will fundamentally change what we mean when we say the word exchange. Thousands of tokenized stocks. And it's not a prediction for 2030. It's happening right now. Several global exchanges have already listed besides crypto. Not just one exchange in July, but a wave across the industry. Thousands of tickets. Same account as crypto, but around the clock. The boundaries are gone. For decades, we separated markets by asset class. Stocks belong to stock exchange, commodities to commodity exchanges, currencies to FX markets, and of course crypto to crypto exchanges. Those boundaries are surely disappearing. When those boundaries disappear, something else also disappears. We're talking about market hours. Bitcoin doesn't close on Sunday. Stable coins don't stop because New York went to sleep. And blockchain doesn't care whether London is open or not. So why should markets? Other than that, why should also geography be a concern? Why should someone in Jakarta trade an American equity on Sunday? Why shouldn't someone in Seoul access gold at 3 a.m. in the morning? Why should geography determine when somebody is allowed to participate in a global market? We believe in 24/7, 365 of stocks, gold, silver, oil trading, crypto, and eventually many other asset classes. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We want to emphasize always being available. The new benchmark will not be, is the market open? It will be, is this market always available? Another point, volume does not guarantee survival. I'm not going to name them, they're not important. The lesson is, they had brands, they had users, they had technology, significant trading volumes, and still they decided to close it. Volume does not guarantee survival. Now we're looking at expansion and consolidation. Tokenization, stablecoins, real-world assets, 24-hour trading, global access, all are expanding. But exchange infrastructure is consolidating. Market is expanding, and infrastructure is consolidating. Another point, and above all, is trust. Operating as an exchange is brutally difficult. You have to think about liquidity, security, custody, risk management, banking, market making, regulation, compliance, infrastructure support. And above everything else, we have to pay attention to trust. Building the exchange and interface is not difficult, but operating one on a global scale is completely a different ball. Do we actually even need exchanges? Since centralized exchanges? If blockchain can move everything on-chain, we even need centralized exchanges. It's a serious question. You can look at platforms like Calculator, on-chain order books, on-chain perpetual compute, self-custody books, transparent liquidation rules, permissionless access rules. We should not dismiss this, we should actually learn from this. So now we see the narration rotate. And we've seen this movie before. DeFi, NFTs, GameFi, Metaverse, stablecoins, RWA, DEX, perpetual DEX. Almost for every single cycle of innovation, someone will say, this will replace the exchange. But the narrative has rotated. What never changes, though, on the other hand, is users ultimately need has to remain consistent. Their concern, liquidity, execution, access, trust, and of course, convenience. When we look at ownership versus complexity, DEX solves ownership. Transparency, self-custody, permissionless participation, open infrastructure. Very powerful ideas. Centralized platforms solve another problem, complexity. So we see wallets, we see private keys, we see easy to access networks, gas fees managed, bridges built, smart contracts already set up, slippage taken care of, RPCs, custody settlement. Most of our customers or users do not understand these things. And to be honest, they shouldn't have to. The internet reached billions because people did not have to learn about TCP/IP. Streaming didn't go global because everyone was doing CDNs. People ended up just pressing play. So mass adoption happens when nobody needs to understand the technology. And financial technology needs to reach the same point. Mass adoption does not happen when everyone understands blockchain. The mass adoption happens when nobody needs to. Convergence. The future is made of the best of both worlds. It will never be exchanges versus decentralized exchanges. From decentralized platforms, liquidity, performance, experience, compliance, risk management, fiat access, support. From decentralized infrastructure, we have transparency, function, settlement, self-custody, openness, and programmability. The future is convergence. Centralized experience, decentralized rails. One account. Users don't want to have 5 financial worlds, they want access to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, to stocks, to gold, to silver, even to oil and FX. All connected to one system, one account, global markets, 24/7. This brings me to Plubit. You don't want to start by asking how do we build another crypto exchange? Thousands of companies have already asked that. We ask a different question. What should a global exchange look like when everything becomes tradable? 4 principles. Access. Markets should become more global, not more fragmented. Execution. Liquidity means nothing if users cannot execute what matters. Trust. Security, risk management, and resilience are not features. They are fundamentals. And they are infrastructure. Ecosystem. Trading is the entry point, not the destination. Anybody can list more assets. We will be different because we build around the trade and because of what happens when the trade goes wrong. Everyone in this room who has traded futures knows the moment when the position closes, the margin is gone, and there's nothing to do about it. Nothing in exchange has ever offered changes what happens after that. We are introducing protection before the trade, because we believe protection has to exist before the risk either, not after it. The user decides in advance that his position is protected and knows exactly what the protection is worth before opening it. This is what makes this a product, not what we find. We call this revival safe, a liquidation protection for futures traders. The user activates protection before trading and pays a protection fee. If there's an eligible liquidation occurrence, then they can recover a defined percentage of the qualified loss up to their plan's maximum. You will hear very soon about this. We believe in active protection, trade protection, and if there is an eligible liquidation that happens, submit the claim. Recover part of the loss. Once it's reviewed and there is no abuse being detected, recovery will be calculated against the plan's rate and cap. And it settles through the infrastructure the user never actually sees. The difference between a rebate and a product that the user chooses before is the risk. One is consolidation, the other is protection. And the machine that delivers it, the review, the calculation, the settlement, is something the user never has to see. Which brings me to the thing I care about the most as a CTO. Technology should disappear. The best financial technology eventually becomes invisible. Users should not need to think about the blockchain underneath an asset, the settlement infrastructure, or which the network is moving down. They should just simply say, I want to own it, I want to take it, I want to move it, and the infrastructure should make that possible. The rails should disappear. the experience should remain. So let me return to the first question. What is an exchange? It's not a website where people trade crypto. But it's a liquidity, an accessor, a settlement layer, a gateway between digital and traditional assets, and eventually a global financial interface. So the real question is not about centralized exchanges surviving, but the real question is, what will an exchange become? We see evolution where stocks become tokens, commodities become digital, markets are becoming 24/7 accessible, financial assets are becoming global by default. At the same time, exchanges are disappearing and liquidity is concentrated. It's not the end for exchanges. It's the beginning of its next evolution. The winners will not be the exchanges with the most tokens, the highest leverage, or the loudest marketing, but the platform that combines liquidity, technology, trust, and simplicity with the same openness that blockchain already made possible. On Plubit, everything becomes tradable. That is the future we are building. Global markets, 24/7, one ecosystem. We're not building for another crypto cycle, we're building for the moment when everything becomes tradable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Plubit. Big round of applause. This is the 9% that we're today. And I think